Hello, David. How are you? Can you hear me?
Now I can. It helps if I have the volume up on the speakers.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. 22 days till vacation. Not that or 22 sleeps until vacation.
Where are you going?
Well, we're leaving here. We're flying to Fort Lauderdale. We're going to see the Everglades and Biscayne National Park. Then
Ooh.
we're going to drive to Key West and we're going to fly out to Dry Tortuga State Park or National Park. And then we're going to go back to Fort Lauderdale and catch a Royal Caribbean cruise with some people from here at work.
Oh my gosh.
So that'll be a week in itself. Then we're going to spend 3 or 4 days at Universal Studios.
Holy cow.
Then we were going to fly home, but we're flying from Fort Lauderdale up to Connecticut for a wedding. So when I leave on the 16th, I won't be home until July 3rd.
So like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever taken a vacation this long as an adult that I can recall. So,
Wow, that's a lot. I feel like hope you get to like relax a little bit on all of that.
well,
The
I
cruise
think
will
we will.
be.
So one of our goals is to take Chase to all 63 national parks.
Yeah.
And so we've got two of the three here in Washington, and we'll get out the three that are in Florida in a couple of weeks. So we'll just slowly start ticking them off, and I think it's a good goal to take the kids all over America and see what all the great USA has to offer. And
What grade is he in?
he is entering the fourth grade this fall.
Are they still doing that deal where you get free passes for fourth graders? Yay!
Yes, they
Awesome.
are. And so when we go to Florida, he will officially be in fourth grade. So we'll be able to use the pass for the three parks down in Florida.
Nice. Yeah, they ended up extending it because of COVID. So, like, my son ended up in fifth grade when everything finally opened up, and
Hmm.
they let him get a free pass because everything was closed for 2 years. So,
Nice.
63 national parks. Yeah, we used to do that. We would take every year, we'd pick a new national park to go to, but then
Hmm.
we went to Arches, and now we just keep going back to Arches because we love it so much.
Yeah.
We don't want to go anywhere else. Um, Only
So
for spring break, because that's when it's
right.
like in the 70s and
We thought it would be the most difficult one was actually going to be either American Samoa or the Virgin Islands. Well, I kind of want to go on all five of Disney's cruise ships. Lo and behold, next Labor Day, Disney has a cruise ship I haven't been on that's going to the Virgin Islands. How convenient.
wow.
So Jen was not terribly excited. She's like, wait a minute, did I just get hornswoggled into another cruise? I'm like, you wanted to go to all the national parks, so I'm just figuring out a mode of transportation to get there.
So the U.S. Virgin Islands have a national park. Okay.
Yeah. And so does America Samoa. So our plan for to do that is there's two national parks in Hawaii. So we're thinking we will fly to Hawaii for 3 or 4 days, hit the Volcanoes National Park on the Big Island, then fly down to Samoa for 3 or 4 days from there, hit the national park and do that, then fly back to Hawaii, do the second national park, and then fly home. So it kind of breaks up that 13-hour flight.
Yeah. So is
It
the
was
Napali
fun.
Coast on Kauai, is that a national park?
Um,
I
I don't
don't,
remember
it's
what the
so
second one
beautiful.
is.
Oh, that's such a cool area. But we took the kids on a boat along the Napali Coast when they were younger, and that was really cool because you can go into like the little coves and really see the coast is just, it's really, really rugged and beautiful. Um, People hike it, but that's not something we could do with the kids, so.
Right.
But they're older now, yeah, and they all just love Moab. They just keep going back to Arches, but I really want to take the boys down to Redwoods soon. But yeah, we love to travel. That's our favorite thing, and the kids still go with us. Our oldest is graduating here in a couple weeks, and he's still into hanging out with us, which is nice.
Yeah, my theory is we're only going to have, really, he's ending third grade, so what do we have? Really, 8 years maybe that he'll want to possibly go travel with us. So,
Well, if they're smart, they realize mom and dad pay for it, so maybe we'll come along for the ride. Hi, Caitlin.
so Caitlin's not feeling well and is probably not going to talk too much tonight because she's not feeling well, but she decided that she was going to log on and try to get us a quorum.
I saw that.
So I don't want to speak too much for Caitlin, but she also won one of the Stormwater Contest awards.
For the
Yeah.
harbor?
Yeah.
It was one of the like calendar ones. Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
not
still
feeling too
getting
good,
over.
but I'll just like be here for a little bit. I saw David yesterday. Yeah.
I got
Yep.
COVID a couple weeks ago. I'm still kind of, it's all up in my head now, but I'm feeling energetic. I hope you don't have COVID. Do you know if have you tested?
It's not COVID. I went to the doctor on Monday and I tested negative for COVID at the doctor's and at home, and I was negative for strep and the flu, so I think it's just like a cold. But yeah, I thought I
Yeah,
was
there's
getting
been some
better.
nasty bugs going around. A couple of our kids have gone through the nasty bug at home, and we've got a plethora of the COVID kit. So here we go, try one. It's like nobody's testing positive, just that really nasty ick.
Yeah.
So, David, you said, when do you come back from your vacation?
July 3rd.
And is that the first Tunes at Taps is like the 6th, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hit the ground running. Will we be able to have a meeting then in
Not in
June?
June. Nope.
Okay. Is there anybody else who can liaison, or we've already talked about that?
I've asked and nobody's really available. See, this is all of our check stuff that I'm getting ready to have done before I go on vacation for the whole summer because I'm gone so long. So
Okay.
fun stuff. So let's see, we have 5 now. Hopefully one more person shows up.
We still have a seat available, is that correct?
Nope.
Just 11 seats? I thought we added a 12th or something.
Nope. If
Okay.
anything, we were honestly considering going down since we
Yeah.
can't get a quorum.
Hi, Melissa. Can't wait to meet in person.
So Lori sent a message that she was not going to be here tonight.
Molly also said she was not going to be able to make it.
That's who else it was. I was like, I know I got one from somebody else, so
How are you doing, Stephanie?
Good. One day at a time.
Yeah. How's your husband doing?
He's doing very well. Yeah,
Oh,
recovery
good.
has gone very well.
Wonderful.
hey, Gloria, it looks like we have 6 people, so why don't we get started and get going so Caitlin
Okay.
can get back to resting as soon as possible.
So we'll move ahead without Debbie.
Debbie is on vacation,
Oh, okay.
so Debbie is going to be listening to everything we say. So, hi, Debbie, we love you.
We
I'll
do
be
love
here, but
Debbie. It's
I'll
true.
probably have my mic and camera off just if I have to like blow my nose or something, but I'll be here.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna open with roll call. Oh, starting the meeting at 6:03. Glory Cancro here. Stephanie French.
Here.
Molly Williams. Sora Williams is absent. Lori Selly, absent. Melissa Deckman, absent. Josh Gonzalez.
Here.
Rodrigo Yanez, absent. Caitlin Wolford.
Here.
Jennifer Turner.
Here.
I see you. Here. Louise Albright. Looks like she's absent. Melissa Munson Merritt.
Here.
Right. Moving on to approval of minutes. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve our minutes from our April meeting?
I motion to approve our minutes from our April meeting.
I second.
Thank you. So the meeting minutes for April have been oh, any opposed? Sorry. Okay, meeting minutes for April 2022 have been approved. Moving on to correspondence. David, do you have any correspondence to share?
I have not received anything from anybody.
Okay. Anybody else have any correspondence? Trying to think. I'm still in touch with Julie. Can't remember her last name, but she helps edit the magazine that goes out to Lake Taps Living and the Bonnie Lake neighbors. And she loves articles from the Arts Commission. So if anybody ever has an event or anything happening, let me know, and I can send you her email, and you can send her. She usually does like a full page color article for us. So
Julie Malloy.
Julie Malloy, yeah. And that's just a great way to get a little bit more out there because we don't have a paper publication in the city right now. So, any citizen comments? I did hear from a student I've been working with, and she's interested in joining whenever the youth position opens up. Caitlin, do you know how much longer you'll be able to stay with us?
I think
here
Caitlin,
until like I graduate next year, I think. Yeah, I think I told David that when I renewed my membership or like commission. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you'll be a senior next year.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're glad to have you for this much time. Do you know if the youth representative needs to be high school? No, they could be anybody? Okay.
I don't think the bylaws differentiate.
Okay. And I'll let them know, the student, they are welcome to just join in and help with any of our events as well. All right, moving on to the work plan. Stephanie has worked hard on this, and I know you had quite a bit printed out. Where were we at with that? Is there anything else?
I think where we left it last month was that everybody was going to take a look at that on their own. Did everyone receive the link to be able to view that document?
No, can you tell me where the link is?
Well, let me see. It would have been emailed. Let me see if I can find it and I can drop it in the chat, and you can at least save that link for later.
Perfect. I just think maybe I didn't get the email. Maybe I'm not on the list yet.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not seeing it.
Okay, I'm looking for it right now. Okay, I'm gonna drop this link in the chat, and I think you should be able to grab it and take a look at it.
So if people want
It's
to make
open.
edits to it or discuss, is that something that we can do over email?
Um, as a reply to all, officially no. But if, like, for instance, if Glory, if you see an edit you would like to make, if you just replied directly to Stephanie, then you could do it that way. But you can't say, Stephanie and everyone else on the commission, this is the change I think we should make.
Okay.
Okay, then we can make changes and edits and then bring it to everybody at the next meeting.
Yeah.
It's just that we won't be having a meeting next month, and summer meetings are going to be shortened, it sounds like, because we'll be meeting outside.
Correct.
So being it's a shareable, editable document, editable Excel spreadsheet, and I have no claim to ownership or authorship of the document. So if you want to change something, feel free to change whatever you feel like needs to change. And if there's an area in there that is a project that you oversee, or someone in the commission oversees, they can feel free to do that as well. It's just really I think a template to get everybody started thinking about what it looks like to have a timeline to get things done. Are you guys able to open that link?
Wonderful. Yeah, I appreciate you explaining that it's not like we have to get your permission or something to make changes, that this is to help with all of us be able to keep track of our own work plan and our and each other's as well. Does anybody have any questions about this?
Does the layout make sense? Okay.
Maybe you could send that in an email again to everyone if it like didn't go through the first time, or so that like people that weren't here could like get that with the packet and stuff.
Yeah, I'll send it to Debbie again and ask her to redistribute that.
Maybe it was like buried in one of the commission packets or something too, and we just didn't see it there.
Yeah, it's possible it just didn't go out.
So does the work plan include like deadlines? Are we adding deadlines or goals?
Yeah, if you look at the shaded boxes to the right of so each chunk is a project, and under each project headline is a list of tasks. And then on the right hand side, the grayed out boxes are basically the months that those items are supposed to be handled in that month. And so, maybe the deadline would be the Arts Commission meeting for that month, just to be able to present or, update the group on what's going on with that project at that particular meeting. So, I think that the very first one, what is the first one on that list? Is it the gallery? So I think with the gallery, everything is gray because it's just kind of an ongoing thing that's always happening.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful because we have such a high turnaround rate in the commission. It would be helpful for these work plans to have a little bit more detailed information. Maybe if, like, I was going to hand this over to somebody else, they could at a glance be like, oh, this is the thing that we do. But I don't know, maybe that should be in a different document.
Like instructions? Is that
Well,
what you're...
more like, so the artist gallery, we choose an artist and they're on a quarterly rotating basis. So I could I could maybe add that as a category that, rotates quarterly. Just a little bit more information to help it be
Mm-hmm.
reproducible for the next person who wants to come and join. Because a lot,
Yeah.
we do have a lot of new commissioners. And Melissa, I want to make sure you have time to introduce yourself. Um, we barely had any time the last time you were here. It was just very brief. So I want to make sure you get a little bit of time to do that. But yeah, a lot of, new commissioners. So we're sort of also introducing these projects to new commissioners. Duck flock installation. All right, I'm going to definitely make some edits to this and add, kind of where we're at with that, what the projected project is, and then the status, because we're, kind of mid project.
Yeah,
Do
so
we
if you'll
have,
notice as you scroll down through there, a lot of them look exactly the same, especially with Beautify Bonnie Lake and beyond that, just because they're just a couple of ideas. But if you look at, obviously, with the duck block installation and the utility box vinyl wrap, there's a little bit more information in those projects just because there's more already kind of there's already in the works. There's already more in the works to be able to have on the work plan. So
yeah, I have a question about the artist reception. Just, I know you explained the gray boxes already, but is there a place for a date for, because we have a date picked out already. I'm just trying to figure out why the gray boxes are sort of
it's
staircase.
just a progress marker is all it is. And so if you look at where is the artist reception? So if you have a date, so there's a line, the work event, wherever
Okay.
that event is going to fall. If you want to just put the number in that box, you
Okay.
can. That represents October. Those are the months. Yeah, maybe that's obvious, but
No, how is, where's the month? Am I not seeing the month?
they're across the top of the heading. It says 2022, and then
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't do
the
much.
first letter of the month, January, February, March. Um, so the event is planned for October
Yeah.
with a November sort of debrief with the commission at the November meeting.
Okay.
So,
Why the gray box is starting. Okay.
and so they don't show up until the month that needs to probably show up on a meeting agenda. So, um,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
anyway,
it looks like,
hopefully this kind of looks like this when you look at the gray boxes over the course of the year, and not everything is in the first half of the year or in the first, um, all shaded in January through June, and the rest of the year is empty, but that there's projects going on throughout the year so that when you look at the whole thing, you actually can see sort of a progression through the year.
yeah. And I might change some of the wording. I know in the past we've talked about each project having a team of commissioners, because in the past we've had only one commissioner lead, and every time if that commissioner just isn't able to attend a meeting, then projects were getting tabled. So I'd really love to see at least two people on a project so that it's more of a team
Hmm.
effort, and that more can get done that way if one person just isn't available or can't move on. And it's also exhausting, honestly, to work on a project alone. So um, I would love if anybody sees an empty box here and you're like, there's nobody there. That's something I'm curious about. We can meet one on one and I can chat with you more about what these projects are, how they've worked in the past, and um, get
Yeah.
some more leads on these.
Most of these also include a line item that says recruit team. That's what that's kind of about, is gathering other commissioners or recruiting even citizen members to become a part of a project team that's working to move something forward. So
Yeah, I think that's super key is working with businesses and working with other people because the more we can, collaborate and get help, the better. The more we can get done. Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Oh, in the chat window, I put a link to Outlook Office 365. Everyone should have access to an Arts Commission folder now.
Yay!
So, and if in the upper left corner on that link, there's 9 dots, and if you click onto those 9 dots, it should bring the folder up, or you should be able to see it down below for like a quick access area.
Can I upload photos into there
I
or?
think so.
That's fantastic because like we really need a new pamphlet and I've got just years and years worth of photos. Obviously, we'll find, do you know like how many photos I can upload?
I don't know. I just created a folder that says photos, though.
Perfect. And then that way,
So
yeah, we all have access. If one person's at an event and they took a few good photos, they can just upload them and thank you. Wow. All of our documents and files. This is huge. Yay. We haven't had a place where we can just put everything. They've been on like individual private computers. And then they get lost when people leave or things change. So this will be very helpful, David. Thank you. Moving on, I think we'll continue to keep the work plan on our agenda because it sounds like we have lots more to keep adding to it. But is there anything else you want to say about the calendar of events, Stephanie? It looked like the sort of thing that you made would be fantastic to print out and to have that up.
yeah, so I think that where that was left was investigating if we have budget to print some of those, post around town.
I can easily print them off here. It won't be an edge print because we can't print with a photo run off the edge, but we can print them off on regular paper here. If we want to do it like on a glossy that would print all the way off to the edge, then we'd have to take that out of our regular budget for the Arts Commission. And then send it out to an actual printer.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
Is it only you that can add files to the folder?
I don't know.
Or maybe I'm just having issues here because I'm trying to drag the PDFs that I've been working on for the utility box, and it's not letting me.
I will send an email off to Chuck and see if anyone has access to it.
I'll just email it to you.
Okay. And Josh, I think you've tried to forward your city email to a second email.
I tried, and then I was told that it couldn't be done because it makes everything else not work.
Okay. End of that subject, then I'll just keep moving on.
Yeah.
Any comments on whether we can, I mean, as far as printing a calendar of events, this would be something that I would imagine we wouldn't need more than 10 or 20 printings, maybe, just to put around at the library and other places.
I can actually print borderless on my Epson printer here at home. So I don't mind printing, if we're talking about like a small run like that, I don't mind doing that. I'll just print them here.
I'd like to make sure that we weren't just that we are using our budget. I don't want to use up your printing ink, Stephanie, for that.
I have no idea how to quantify that. It's an ink well, so it lasts like a year, and
Well, in the
doing.
future, we will be printing. I'd like to be able to print posters for the art gallery, posters for the artist reception. So we will have multiple things to be printed. We've got I really like some nice, shiny, good-looking posters, and I think it would be worth it to work out how we can do that within our budget. And
So I believe the city of Bonnie Lake is a part of the Chamber of Commerce, and because of that collaboration, I guess chamber members receive a really, really steep discount at Office Depot. Unfortunately, we have to go to Puyallup at this point, but somehow or other, if we could find out if there's a chamber member number that we need to provide for Office Depot, I mean, it's cheap, hundreds of prints for dollars. It's definitely worth tapping into that resource.
do they do good, like poster printers printing
They
there?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be
They can do large
fantastic.
format and laminate and things like that. They can make books and all sorts of things. So
Um, the other thing that's been complicated in the past is that like our city liaison has to physically be present or, because he's got the city credit card, um, unless we can do it online and have the order sent to David and that he can approve and pay for it that way.
yeah.
So if we can get a quote on like how much it's going to cost, then we can approve it. But that's something we'd have to approve at our July meeting at this point, unless we want to just print some off with David just to have them and then also plan on trying to approve the budget for July. I see some nods. Okay. um, because it's maybe better to have some, but I would like to get them printed. Can you find out, Stephanie, from the chamber if that's something that we can get a discount for?
I know that the chamber does work with Office Depot. The question is usually you're right about the credit card thing. So usually with the chamber membership, somehow or other it's connected through the corporate card that's used to pay for the purchase. But Office Depot does do a lot of their products online. So you go online and order it. You can pick it up in Puyallup or you can have it shipped to you. So I would have to ask Office Depot, I think, what information they need to be able to pass that discount on to us. But yeah, I can do that. But I will print 10 or so of them here just to
Okay.
have them on hand for right now. So
Yeah, even 5 or 10, because that way we can at least just put them up at the courthouse, put them up at library, just a few main places, just to kind of get a little bit more of a visual out there for the public.
yeah.
Awesome. I owe you a coffee.
Does anyone have access or have their OneDrive open right now? Maybe Josh? From the link I just sent?
Yeah, I just opened it now. Okay, I can if I click on the OneDrive, there we go. Because I guess I was in the files and I couldn't do it there.
So then look under attachments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I did it right, everyone should be able to see call for sponsors and traffic control box art.
Let me refresh. I see annual work plan. It might just not be uploaded yet. No, I just see the annual work plan as of right now.
Okay. Let me, okay, I'll keep working to see how to make it shared. Because I haven't used this before, so I'm getting myself edumacated.
Okay. Sorry, I lost my screen. yeah, if we can get some of those printed, Stephanie, let me know when you have that done and I'll help grab them and display them around the city. Caitlin, we're moving on to Summer Tunes at Taps booth. Caitlin has offered to volunteer for quite a few of the dates, and it looks like we've got enough people to run the booth for at least a few of the summer dates. So, in our previous discussion, we talked about having more than 2 volunteers because it can get pretty exhausting. So, our goal is to have 3 people. And they don't all have to be arts commissioners; they can be friends or family. And once I get that all figured out, I'll email it out exactly, which date people have signed up for. And Caitlin, do you want to be kind of the point person for that?
I think she commented in the chat that she had to step off for a sec.
Oh, thank you. I didn't see that.
I have a bloody nose, so I can't really talk a lot. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll just go ahead and send out. I've got some feedback from some other volunteers for the Tunes at Taps booth, and I'll email that to everybody and make sure they have their dates signed up. And I just was asking if you wanted to be kind of the point person for people to talk to.
Yeah, sure, that would be good.
I need to meet with you at some point, Caitlin, and show you where our supply closet is so that you can dig through there and get, figure out where all of our stuff is. Have you been there before?
I have not. The person I would need to be with would probably need to help me transfer the stuff over because I can't guarantee that I'll have a car each time to do that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll make sure you have everybody's contact info and you guys can arrange that. And Melissa, you said that you were interested in volunteering for the Tunes at Taps?
Yeah, I put 2 dates in the text that I could.
Cool. I was over at the supply closet today digging through the ducks. We've got over 100. I wrote it all down. Over 100 ducks in there. Most of them have been painted. There's a pile that have not been painted. I was going to take to the senior center to work with them in the next couple weeks. And there's a few left that we can use at Tunes at Taps, but it's not going to be a ton for covering a lot of weeks, or a lot of different activities. So Molly had painted a big, huge backdrop that we had laid out for the community members to come and just like they would do their handprint on there and paint it on it. So there's still that can be used as a project. But brainstorming projects and making sure we have the supplies for them is something that I'll let the Tunes at Taps group work out. And we can talk and discuss all that together and make sure, Melissa, that you know where our supply closet is as well. David, do you know when that building's getting evacuated? No? Okay, so we have it for now. Okay. I did ask Tom Watson if we are going to have space, if the Arts Commission is going to have space in the new building to store things, and he said he would look into it, so I'm hoping.
My guess is the new Public Works building, probably not, because it sounds like they're already nearing capacity for moving staff over there. But we'll find a place.
Yeah. And as long as it's not my garage, I'm good with it. Okay. Well, for now we can count on that. It's the Public Works building, but I can show you where to go and park and where it makes unloading and loading much easier than the first whole year I was there, I was doing it the hard way. So, Caitlin, do you have any other comments on Tunes at Taps? I know that you don't want to do every single week this summer, but that's totally up to you how many weeks you want to do.
I think that's about it. I think you covered most of it. I think just the same things, just we're not going to want to do every week just because we don't exactly have as much, and that way that's not too many commitments that we have to make for that. And the only weeks that I know that I can't, most likely will not be able to do, is probably the couple last weeks of August. But other than that, I'm pretty open.
Okay. Last year we had some COVID restrictions and we were making painting kits to hand out to people. This year we hopefully can just keep people at the booth and create space there to paint. It'll be a lot less work, hopefully, and a lot less setup and tear down and preparing all of the kits. So, and we still have a ton of paint there in the closet, so we can go through all of that, and you can kind of decide what will work for you. And um,
Yeah, that sounds good.
awesome. Yeah, I'd like to have a third project because, like I said, we only have a few ducks, and then most of that canvas that Molly made is it's about halfway painted. We might need to get creative. But if you dig through the closet, there's a lot of like project material in there. You might find some stuff that'll work. So, um, also, Tunes of Taps booth is maybe going to look a little bit different this year because we were going to be handing out applications for the Medal of the Arts Award. That was discussed as a really great way to connect with the community and kind of give people another way to be involved, get a little bit more interaction. In the past, we've had like one application, so I'm hoping to actually have some more applications this year.
I think we're going to lose Jennifer in about 4 minutes. And we hear from Josh before we.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm not good at reading the chat. Thank you, Stephanie, for moving me along. Josh, would you like to share about the utility box designing cost?
Yeah, so I haven't had a whole lot of more headway on it just because the family went through COVID. So that was fun. Had a couple weeks there of lost weeks. But I wasn't able to attend last time, but I wanted to share that flyer if I can share my screen. Okay, if you guys can see that. Let me know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can see it. Thank you.
Okay. So this was the call for sponsors. We had talked about, doing an ask of sponsorships. There was a PDF I received that had different addresses or different locations, and there was one that was confusing, so I couldn't tell what it was. So maybe David, you can help me figure that out later or on the email. But if you want to, pretty much, I don't know what the next steps are for this as far as getting it rotated and and out. Obviously, besides just finalizing this content. But that was a call for sponsors, and I had, we had already talked about previously the call for artists, which was, more of I believe it was a web page that we were going to do, and I just don't know what the next steps for those are. So there's a lot of, this is the first time I've ever been on a commission, so I don't know what I don't know, and so I'm just trying to figure that portion out. But I have all the language written out, and just I think the web page needs to be built, or a form is I would believe what we talked about. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. As far as the vendors, I've talked to Print Northwest, which is the one that has been doing it for a lot of municipalities. But I don't know if the city of Bonnie Lake has to send out for bids or how does that, how that portion works. If that's the case, if you guys have approved vendors or whatever that looks like. But I know that Print Northwest said that they would have to go to each one of these locations and kind of just measure and have exact dimensions so that they give a real quote. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, it looks
So,
fantastic. I mean, I am, being a volunteer on the Arts Commission doesn't mean I understand much how this works either, but we have a lot of resources to help with those questions. Hopefully David can answer some of those questions. And I personally don't remember talking about building a website for people to go to because I don't know that that's possible, but
Not a website, a web page on the website. It was a
oh,
form. We had talked about doing a form for just like you guys do for the artists, for them to be on the gallery. We had
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about creating a form for them to, with all this info, to submit their artwork for the traffic signal control boxes.
I suggest talking with Melissa Deckman. I know she was really excited about getting the students involved. She would definitely be one to talk to about how to move ahead with the school district. And I know Lori had done a lot of research on this. Has she been available to talk?
I think I added her to the email, but I don't think I heard from her. I know Stephanie sent me some stuff, but I can try to reach out to her again and see.
so
David, do you have? Oh, sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry. I was just going to do that, what you were just about to do. David, is this something that we we have to vote on, or we already voted on the direction we were going to take, and now Josh just connects with you to handle the technology side of it and getting it published, or what's the protocol?
So I think it'll be kind of a 3-phase project. Is basically I'll need to find out Print Northwest and find 1 or 2 other vendors, and if Josh has one of those, then he can send them my way, and then I can send those group the list of the 7 boxes, and then we can get a current price to wrap those boxes with our print ready art, and then we can decide which boxes we'll print at our cost, and then see if we can find sponsors for the other ones, and we'll just make sure that the sponsorship covers whatever Print Northwest. We'll just say we're going to use them, whatever it says that it costs, or even a big chunk of it, so it doesn't eat up as much of the Arts Commission budget. And
Okay,
so
and
hopefully
then
I can get through that before the next meeting.
Yeah, that would be great.
And as far as offering this to students, the library is a great resource. They connect with a lot of students there. I know Melissa mentioned their expressions program that they do at the library. So it doesn't, in my thinking, it wouldn't necessarily need to be during a school year in order to get kids involved. If we just say, hey, 4th and 5th graders, apply here, blah, 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 parents, approval. What we haven't voted on is how much we're going to be paying for the
Yeah,
artists that we voted on.
we hadn't established that. I just put a preliminary of 400 because we looked at, I think that was what Sumner was paying, and they're still bigger than us as a city. Kent pays like 1,000, but they're huge. And so
Pierce
so
County
that's
is paying 500, so
yeah. Um, and then like the range I got from, like I said, from the one vendor was about that. And so it became a little bit more complex once we added, the call for sponsors, because I think it's just another step, right, that we have to wait to see if we have financial backing. I mean, we can technically, I believe David mentioned a while back that we can afford to do one this year just on from our budget. But moving forward, if we start this process, then hopefully that would add those extra funds for more boxes. But we can start the initial one, like you said, Glory, and I mean, I'll have to change all these dates because this was done a long time ago. And submit this to Melissa for the schools, for them to do, and maybe we cover that one as a commission.
Well, school's getting out in a couple weeks. I mean, it might be better to just make this a public announcement, on the website and on just printed applications that people could pick up at the library or other places. So even,
Yeah.
More focused on like a summer project for kids to work on.
Okay. Yeah. So just pretty much make it public. So there's two. Yeah. So there's two things here. So the call for sponsors to gain those finances for the extra boxes, and then there's the actual call of artists, which is this portion that I just need to revise all of these dates because I had this done previously. And then it's the building of the page the form, and then the vendors, right? So I need to get David a list of 3 vendors that he can send for bids. So I guess I guess the first vote would be is this a good number to start with to pay the artist? 400?
I think it is. We can't vote now because we don't have a quorum anymore.
Oh.
So Jennifer jumped out.
Yeah, there's a lot we can do. I think opening this up to students outside of the public school is great because a lot of kids don't go to public school. They're homeschooled or they go to private school. And having this be at a really central, in public places that everybody goes to, like the library, etc., we'll open it up to kids outside of public school. I have a quick question. Did we vote on whether or not this would be that we would be paying student artists? Because I know Lori was hoping that the Historical Society could be considered. I just wasn't sure if this was an opinion or if we had voted on this being a student-led project or student artists.
I didn't. We voted on it. I actually am opposed to making it exclusively a student project because if we have 7 boxes, then there's room for obviously artists in the community, including the Historical Society, to be able to contribute, and then but including kids is definitely important. And so when we had that conversation, we talked about one specific box for sure that Melissa advocated to make accessible to the kids at Bonnie Lake High School and Mountain View because it's right there by the schools. And then we kind of went from there. So, but all that is to say, I don't think we voted on it. It was just a conversation that we had about who would be eligible to submit art.
Yeah, with 7 boxes, we could have both, but definitely it sounds like the opinion is definitely at least designate 2 that would be students. And I don't want this, a 6-year-old competing with an adult. Obviously, we would be like judging or selecting an artist based out of their demographic.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess, David, let me ask you this. Are the next steps for you to take this to the Public Works person that you sent, that sent the original PDF and just verify that these are accurate for locations? Or do I do that? Do I send it to him, or how, I don't know those portions.
I'm sure the locations will be accurate. What I'll do is get some measurements off of those 7 spots
they listed 8, and that's why but they didn't give a number or a cross for the 8th one.
Okay.
So it's just, that's where I was
Yeah,
you know.
I can find out from them where number 8 is.
Okay.
And then I'll find out what the rough square footage is, and then I can send that out to the 3 vendors that could wrap it and say, okay, here's the approximate square footage for these 8 different boxes. They'll all have separate designs. What's the approximate cost, the bid cost for it?
Okay. Yep. And then this portion, then I will revise, and then do I just send it to you, David, and then
Yeah.
you pass it around everyone? Okay. And then Stephanie or whoever has a better idea of the project management side of things, if you want to help me just with these dates, moving it forward.
Yeah.
I don't know what the best case scenario would be for how early we can push it now. But if you can give, I think you would have a better idea for this.
hmm I think yeah, for sure, I can help with that. And I think even with the dollar amount, I think this decision to do this traffic box has been approved like years ago. So we don't need to revote on actually doing the project, but we can publish it um, maybe a little bit ambiguous in the dollar, in the price amount or the compensation or whatever you want to call it. And can we just leave it kind of open and then vote on it and then publish the prize amount later?
Okay, on this portion,
Yeah.
I'll just delete that for this portion, and then on this, let me see. I think this is what we had originally said, so I'll just say something like that. Or
Yeah.
Compensation, money, maybe.
yeah.
David, do you know what month of the year does our budget roll over? Is that December?
It's a calendar year budget for the city.
So January? January?
Yep.
Okay. So that would be our most deadline, as long as we get it paid for before then.
For which one?
If the city,
By the end of the year.
Got it.
yeah. I mean, I think the hope is that we, as a commission, pay for at least one box and then get some sponsors for other boxes. But
So technically, if I get this updated with Stephanie's help and this solidified with David's help, and I submit this, David, you can then just build the form or whoever. I mean, we don't have access to that, right? Like I don't have access to build a form on
Correct.
this site, right? So build the form and then get this on social media. We can also print it, and I believe Stephanie you had brought the idea of taking it to the Chamber of Commerce or I think that's what we had talked about, and then other businesses around, right?
Yeah. I think we should give it a try.
Yeah, and that's it, right? And then we just wait.
hmm
Okay. All right.
Yeah, this will be great.
So we don't have to wait to do anything else for the next Arts Commission. We can literally just get this wrapped up and going.
yeah, is there any wording on there that says that the Arts Commission will be voting on the art that's chosen?
Yeah.
Okay. And remind me, are you planning on printing like a paper version of like a call for artists? Or is that going to be an online
I
form
believe
to
it's
send to
only
people?
online because they have to submit the images and such. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if we printed a paper version of it, could it live at the city hall and they can just pick it up there if they wanted a print paper version?
So it seems like there should be a separate application for youth. because they're not going to have a body of work to show. And
No, it's not a body of work. It's what they want to submit to be
oh,
wrapped.
just the art that they want to show.
Yeah. It's not that none of it is because I don't. At least what I've seen from Kent, it's not that they're creating an original piece for the boxes. They're just submitting a piece that they're going to that the design. I guess in this case it would be Print Northwest as an example for the vendor. I believe that they would just lay it out for the boxes, or I guess I would if need to.
I think for our own clarity too, it would be good to know how many boxes are designated for youth and how many aren't. My thoughts are like if we do one from elementary, one from middle, and one from high school, and then the rest of the boxes, 4 or 5 boxes, would be open to the public.
Oh, I thought just the one in front of the middle school and high school was, and then the rest were up for grabs.
Well, I'm just offering a suggestion because the elementary students, so the one in front of the middle and high school would be great to be represented by middle or high schoolers, but it would be cool to also have a box representing the younger kids. But
Is there one in front of an elementary school?
that's
I
what I
don't
was
know.
just thinking. Maybe Bonnie Lake Elementary, but no, nothing near, like, very close that I know of.
Something off of Locust would be near Bonnie Lake Elementary.
Yeah.
See the map.
This one here.
Either
I
way.
mean, we could also designate that later as we see the response from artists. Like, say we get an overwhelming amount of submissions from kids and just very little from any adults in the community. Well, then that's, the choice is
Yeah.
obvious. We award more kids.
And it's also up to our discretion, right? So if, we're the ones that are voting on it, so if we see, that there's an opportunity for an elementary box, then we would work that way.
I think it might be helpful to have some wording in there that does encourage kids to apply, because if I saw this, I would think, oh, it's for adults only.
Oh,
Maybe,
on this portion?
yeah, maybe just say something like youth, elementary, middle, and high schoolers encouraged to
Mhm.
apply.
We could make another version of it with some more child-oriented graphic images just to make it more.
Yeah, this is just literally the text for the web page.
Mhm.
If you want me to create a flyer for the call to artists, I can totally do that too, and I could probably just work off of this and
Mhm.
reword it to the artist, and maybe change. Yeah, I can change it up a little bit.
It
Drop
looks
it
really
in
good,
the
Josh. Thank you. That would be
Yeah,
really cool to have something more catchy too for the younger people.
yeah, I can totally do that.
Amazing. Yay. It looks
Yeah.
like Todd joined us.
I'm sorry?
Did Todd join us? Can't see.
I am here. I apologize. I'm at the Parks and Rec track meet down here at Sumner High School, so I apologize if it gets a little noisy.
Cool. I'm glad you're here. I don't want to interrupt though, Josh, if you had more you needed to say.
No, I just wanted to know if we have the green light with moving forward after so then I guess what I'll do is create the call for artists one, send that to David as well so he can send it around. And then once we get the final, on all of that stuff, then David can help with promoting it and then the web page. So cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I really, really appreciate everything everybody's doing. Guess we can't really move. We continue to move on then. I guess, Stephanie, would you be able to talk about the outdoor display? Plans for those in process?
The plots are in the design phase with the vendor. They're drawing up drop drawing, the drawing that's going to be used to laser to cut from. And so once I get them, I'll share them with you guys, maybe in an email.
Okay, I hear you, Melissa. We'll be done in a minute here. I wanted to give you, oh, no, you really left? Did you leave?
You did leave.
Oh, I wanted to give her a chance to talk. Oh, shoot. Um, well, I invited Todd Dole to join us. He's a former council member and impact and influencer in the community to talk a little bit about the glass installation project and what we need to move forward with that. Unfortunately, we don't have a quorum, so we can't vote on applying funds to it right now, but we can just hear from you really quick, Todd, if you want to share.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thanks for all you guys are doing as members of the Arts Commission to make our city beautiful and take care of us that way. So, yeah, we do have the glass panel project that's kind of been in the works. I don't know how many people know about it, but it's been in the works for a little while. I took over as chair for Beautify Bonnie Lake. This will be the third year. And before I was the chairperson, it was the year before that the project never got finished. So it was in production. The nice metal frame that was donated, I believe it ended up being donated, was in the works, and so it didn't get done 3 years ago for the annual Beautify Bonnie Lake event. We went to install it last year, and the framework that was designed again prior to me taking over Beautify Bonnie Lake wasn't quite right. There was some issues with the glass panels fitting properly, and so we had to take those down to the glass van in Sumner and have some edges cut on that. So basically, what ended up happening was we incurred this additional cost that we weren't kind of anticipating throughout this project, and it was a project that the Arts Commission was super invested in and did such a good job on. We wanted to see it through. So the panels themselves came from an old bus stop that was in Bonnie Lake at one point in time, and it was the art for this bus stop. The panels in this bus stop was, I believe it was for people within the high schools somewhere, back in the day, where they kind of created the image that went in this bus stop, and then we were repurposing it for this particular panel project at the art park. So where we sit now is we have these panels. We want to get them installed. We just need to get them picked up from the glass man. But like I mentioned, this was kind of an unexpected cost. I'm happy to look at it other ways if it's not feasible. Beautify Bonnie Lake is obviously in support of finishing the project. We weren't anticipating the cost, but we'll do what we can to make this thing work. But I know Glory and I have talked about it quite a bit. We've been really happy with how it's gone thus far, even with the snags. But if we could just get this project wrapped up, I think it would be great for our community. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Gloria, it's like $380 or $360, something like that, in total to get these picked up, and then we can obviously install them as a group at no cost. So I don't know, Gloria, if you have an approach. I know we've kicked around a couple different ideas. One, we could split the cost between Beautify Bonnie Lake and then the Parks Commission. the Arts Commission. Maybe even the Parks Commission may have something. I know budget's always tight, it seems. But that was just a couple of the thoughts that we kicked around to get this project completed.
Yeah, it's definitely time. And the Arts Commission is also working on a nice plaque to display with it. I would love to just pay for it as an Arts Commission, but obviously we can't make that decision right now. We don't have a quorum, but it seems like it could be within our budget, especially if we're able to find sponsors for some of our vinyl wraps. So I don't know how we're going to vote on this. Also, next month we are not able to meet, so we wouldn't be able to vote until July. And that's just pushing it out even farther. But I mean, if it's possible to like pledge the money, but I also can't make that decision for everybody. So
Right. Let me try to present it to the board, Beautify Bonnie Lake, as covering the cost, and then whatever is possible to present it to the Arts Commission in favor. Like I said, I feel very comfortable with even splitting that cost if need be. I don't foresee that being a big issue. So yeah, let's I'll investigate that and see what we can do to maybe cover the cost, and then maybe you could vote or present it as an option to cover half of it at your next meeting that you're able to vote.
yeah, let me know. We appreciate everything you're doing, and it's gonna be nice to get that done. I know that
It's gonna be
somebody's
really
already
nice.
started vandalizing it. We need to get some black spray paint out there and cover that up. But
Yeah. So on that, I know you mentioned earlier on in this meeting about potential projects. I don't know if this is related or not, but I did have somebody reach out to me through the BBL platform and mentioned that they really love the ducks throughout the city. They really love the start of this framework that we have, but there was a suggestion that the ducks didn't really stand out that well on this metal framework, and that somebody within the community mentioned they would love to see it painted, or at least the ducks painted. And wouldn't you know it, within about a week or so after that, I noticed that it looks like someone's kind of gone over and maybe attempted to paint one white. So
yeah,
I don't know if it's related or not, or if that is a project that you guys think maybe of worth while. But I mean, I think the all black looks really, really nice, and I know that was what it was designed. But that is something that we're gonna have to do, is at least get it back to its normal state, or maybe pitch the idea to paint just the ducks on it. I don't know. You guys are more in tune with how that would look and the benefits of that. But that's what I know at this point. But again, we appreciate all your guys' efforts and everything that you've done, and we're happy to partner with you guys to get this project wrapped up. And I think the plaque's a great idea, and I think the overall aesthetic of the panels and the framework is going to be beautiful once it's done. But we've gone through a lot to get this where it's at right now. But we're happy to maybe get those panels picked up and get it installed as soon as possible.
do you know? I don't know, Stephanie. What's your opinion on that? Like, if he said that the glass panels have just been sitting there and they need them out of that space. I mean, if Beautify Bonnie like pays for them now and we do the install, we're kind of hoping that we can pay for them and or agree to pay for them in July. But what do you think would be the best way to move forward?
It's a good question. What I think and what's the right thing to do according to the rules, or the protocols of the commission. I mean, I would be inclined to just say, let's do what we need to do, and then, take care of the logistics, the legalities of it later. But I just don't know if that's appropriate.
Well, yeah, this is a project that's been going on for years, and we're committed to it. We committed to it as an arts commission, and I wonder if, yes, we do need to discuss paying for it, but at the same time, we did pledge to do this project
And get it done.
and get it done as a commission, and pledging that money and just saying that, yeah, we'll pay for it isn't really going against necessarily what we already committed to. So
Yeah, I agree.
we just
I'm
want to be able
surprised
to,
that we stored them this long, actually.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's time to get them up. Yeah, I mean, and it's really not a lot of money. It wouldn't be taking away from any other project. So
Do we have the ability to call a special meeting?
We should be able to. But then again, it's just, I mean, as like tonight, we've got a number of people that aren't here, which last or right before everyone got reappointed, there was strong consideration to go back down to 7 or 9 members because we're not getting a quorum.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those, if we can't get a quorum at a regular meeting that's online that people can go to wherever they are, to get a special meeting that is even in person, I think we're going to be difficult to get a quorum.
Would the special meeting, could it be online
Sure.
as well? Yeah. Yeah, so it's a possibility.
You know, for the purpose of vote on, you know, 2 important timely issues that we, you know, if we, the traffic signal boxes and these panels, just, we need to get them done. And
Yeah.
if we can't meet until July,
Yeah, I can make it happen if I make personal phone calls to people and I say, hey, we need like literally half an hour. Can you join us? People will join if I make personal phone calls and really reach out. I think we could make it happen because I don't want to keep pushing it forward either. So, all right.
we need to
Did
give it a
Todd-
try.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and try that, and that way we can just move it forward. I think Todd left, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's leaving. All right. How do I need to close the meeting when we don't have a quorum?
Well, I think if we look back at when Jennifer left, that's when it was
Technically.
officially over. And so I was just looking at the time we spent really doing the boxes is just kind of more like a subcommittee of people that were just there to talk about the box.
Yeah, we weren't making any financial decisions.
Nope.
Other than saying that we weren't making financial decisions. So, okay. Anything for the good of the order then?
Thanks, Glory.
Thank you.
No, I just did a quick version of the call for artists. I'll send it to David so he can disperse it.
Amazing. Really, really appreciate it. All right, so then we'll just end without a vote to end then. Okay.
All right.
Appreciate all you guys. Stephanie, let me know what I can help you with, and we will stay in touch. All right. Good
Okay.
night.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone. Good night,
Good night.
Caitlin. She left.
Good night.
Good night, Josh. Good night, Stephanie.
Good night.